Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FRU Xmas. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I am playing a Christmas map from the past. While currently, for my point of time, it is May. Beautiful timing, as always. And if you guys couldn't tell already, this is basically a map I have already played, but there's a Christmas coding around it. I'm very curious how much of my opinion is actually going to change, or if I could actually refine my opinion about this map, but who knows. I guess I will say right away, I will say like the Christmas coding for this map, it does make this map a 10 times amount of prettier. I will be honest about that. I don't think I have also really been looking around the properly last time, so let's actually do that for a little bit. We seem to be close to a cemetery? Is that what a red house is? Because this is like a red house. I don't even know. I think that's German for something. Well, would that be German for cemetery or something? I don't even know. I think the real question for me would actually, to be honest, be the fact that this map actually got a Christmas edition to begin with. Because if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really see this as a very fan-favorite map. I didn't really see this map being extremely successful. I mean, it has a very good graphical coding, don't get me wrong about that. Is that also Christmas music playing in the background right now? And it continues on playing when I'm pausing the game even. What the frick? Is that in the map somewhere? Is it the Christmas tree? I think it actually is. Let's buy apparently an M1 Garand for some reason, because that is definitely an M1 Garand chalk drawing right there. Definitely not of the Springfield. But no, for real, I don't understand why this map specifically has a Christmas version. Like, graphically, it's not a bad map, but I've already, like, stated, like, it kind of has a interesting level design. I mean, it is a little bit understandable how this author kind of made his choices. Like, essentially, like, how we are used to playing custom zombies or zombies right now is we start in a cramped area and we have to progress through the map to get both, like, large areas where we can easily train to and collect the weapons. This map decides to give you the large area right away, but the guns are trash. So we're gonna have to get into that building and actually get the good weapons. The thing is, if I would want to, I could just ignore that building outright and just try and test my luck and skill through the M1 Garand and I believe the M1 Carbine, which I'm actually curious about because, like, the Springfield wall buy was an M1 Garand. What is this going to be? Is this actually the M1 Carbine? It is actually the M1 Carbine, okay. I'm gonna have to take those wall buys into consideration of them being Easter eggs, because, well, it seems like that actually is being the case right now. There is, just like I said last time, one little bit of a fundamental flaw with that building right there, but I'm going to touch on that moment once we get there. You know what, let's have that moment for opening this building. Let's let that be right now. Let's actually see what we have in this building over here. Trench gun. Thompson, very standard stuff here. Like, it seems like the makers of maps in this early era really loved having these two weapons as your first option. I guess it's because I think most people back in the day with Knocker and Toten, they did obviously go from the starting area to the help room very often because they didn't really think about the strategy of going upstairs and then to the help room that way. So you kind of really see the resemblance of a lot of people making that decision and then representing that same decision making, same flow into their custom maps. Like, literally, these are the exact same weapons that you get to use in the second room. It's actually something that I'm just realizing now, and it's actually kind of funny when I think about it. That's actually kind of crazy. I wonder how often that has already happened. Retrospectively. I might even look back at it and see how many maps did that. Also, something very slightly interesting to note. There's no mystery box here. This is usually where the mystery box is in this map. So that's, I guess, something the map maker changed. Please, can that jingle stop? Like, it was fun for, like, the first time I heard it, but now it's getting annoying. Maybe there's some kind of Easter egg when I explode all the barrels. It is something when we actually get to the remake of Knocker and Totem and Black Ops 1, so who knows? I don't know. But as you can see, this is already kind of where I adapt my strategy based on how I played this map last time. Because last time, I noticed that staying in the building is actually, in these early rounds, a little bit annoying. and kind of also a little bit broken, because for some reason, the zombies don't really spawn very nicely and very often inside of the building, and instead, they have a tendency to be here a lot faster, thus having a better round flow. And that really sounds like something I really shouldn't care too much about, but I really care about it in a map like this, because if I, don't play it this way, this map is gonna get kind of boring, if I'm gonna be honest. Alright, plenty of points. Let's check the upstairs area. I'm gonna swap my M1 for an MP40, thank you. And I guess the box is over here now. Okay, that's an interesting change. I guess it does make sense to have the box be a little bit more of a reward for the player that he has to work towards, but only like 2,000 more points extra. It's still a fairly small map, to be honest. In that sense, even though I gave Badlands from the last episode a lot of bad rep, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of prefer playing that map over a map like this, just because there isn't really much flesh on the bone of these kinds of maps. Like, I opened 2 doors, and that's it. I don't know. It gets a little bit repetitive and a little bit silly when most of the Nocturne and Totem era maps seem to be that, where in the modern era we seem to have a lot more maps that are actually a lot broader in that size, if that makes any sense. Really, I feel like at this point I'm just trying to get a ray gun in this thing for that to be an artificial viable ending this time around, because honestly I've already kind of seen this map before already, and I'm not really looking forward to playing this map again. Kind of already seen this map, I've already said what there is to say, and the spawns seem to be still as bad as last time around this area. Kind of don't want to be here. Honestly, even if I just die, I'm not going to, like, force myself to get a freaking ray gun on this map. But yeah, just the sheer fact that the discovery factor and everything, it is already over after 2 minutes, buying 2 doors. I mean, Nocturne and Totem is very exceptional in that rule, because it's the first ever map. But if you would, like, repeat that formula for maps like this, it kind of doesn't come over as well as it does. Like, it's a good challenge for Nocturne Totem itself, but you shouldn't try to replicate that challenge. And therefore, for the question, is this worth playing today? I would honestly say, kind of no. Like, unless you really want another Nocturne Totem experience outside of Nocturne Totem, I guess this is it. But I would really want to look forward to a step upwards to this kind of challenge. And then in my also honest opinion, Nocturne Totem does this challenge a lot better. Period. And there's the ray gun. Exactly on round 9 again. This seems to be my round, where I just get the ray gun, and where I say, ladies and gentlemen, it's enough. 9 rounds for, yeah, FRU. I still don't know what that FRU stands for. If anyone knows, let me know down in the comments. But that's it for me. Have a good day.